Good morning, YouTubers. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls from all over the world. The main mast for the HMS Bounty. So we got the first few pieces cut to the right dimensions. And you can see we got the shaping done on the end of the mast to accept that square hole, and the same thing on this one. We got the top crow's nest somewhat ready to go on, so we had to file out those openings so we didn't have to try to file the mast itself. That's a lot harder. And one of the other hard parts that we got done now is this frame to accept the main mast. We'll go down here. So that's a representation of the front view. And we got the grating. It's just sitting in there right now, but we got the grating all made up for that. Because the grating pieces themselves aren't as long as that assembly there, we had to do a little bit of every other one down here and up there to get them to be long enough. It's really hard to see where the seams are at. There's one there and one there, one there and one there. And that gave me enough sticking out this way that I could work those pieces. I still got one little spot I gotta stick a piece in there. That's why this isn't glued in yet. But the frame itself is all glued up. So casualties of war here. We're working on the bench, so stuff is spread out everywhere to make it easy to find a tool when you go to do something. So the next thing I'm going to work on this morning before I start assembling these three pieces together is getting all the blocks and pulleys and ropes tied off on these different pieces as separate units. And I glued two pieces of 2mm by 5mm and cut them to length to go here, and I got to put it in the vise and file out those two troughs so that it'll accept those little brass, there they are right there, and little brass pulleys with a groove cut in the middle of them and a hole for the pin, similar to this. I just glued these up yesterday. I got to file off the pin where it sticks out. But these will go on the side of the ship. It's something we missed back when we were doing the longboat, the launch in the jolly boat. this cutaway side, it's going to be a little more complicated, because especially when I go to do the dead eyes, I might run a board on here just where the dead eyes are to give me something to attach the base of the dead eye to. And the same with this. I can't remember where it goes, and I'll have to look at the picture, but one on each side will mount near the top rail. So I got to cut this rail out to accept it and mount those. But that pulley that's in there is what's going to be in between these two. I cut them a little long because these pulleys are pretty big. I want to be able to get them in there, so I'm going to play with shaping those and then tying blocks on. I got one here and one here. I think that's a double. 331 and 502. I think 331 is the rope. 502 is this one here. So yeah, it looks like doubles. One with a single hole and one with a double hole. Yeah, there it is again. That might be this one though. It's really hard to understand the orientation of some of these blocks when they give you these two views. Some of them aren't too bad, but other ones are. I went on the internet last night and tried to find some diagrams, the mast, so I could get a better idea of exactly where these pulleys and blocks get mounted at. You can see one there, but where's the other ones? You know there's more than one on that thing. So a lot of the diagrams I saw on the internet were very similar to this. Not enough information. I was looking at this yesterday too. This is the top crow's nest up there, and I realized I needed a third leg in there I didn't have, so the rope going up can go through it. So that's something this photo helped me find. But here again, there's only one block there, and I guarantee you there's more than one on that drawing up there. So we'll look at this and try to understand where those other blocks are. It looks like a single and a double there right beside each other. So where's the single and double over here? Maybe it's pushed back behind that one. But that's the kind of mess I'm dealing with, because this is it for the info in order to build these before we start rigging it, you know, mounting everything. I got this print, that print, one or two photos. That's the end of the book. We're at the end of the picture book. And the other thing that's helping me a little bit is this is the last print, and it's primarily for all the rigging. So yeah, see, it's showing more blocks on that main mast crow's nest. So we'll dig around in here too, because all the rigging that goes into those blocks is on these pages, spread out everywhere. This is telling you where all the rigging from up above goes down to on the ship and lands on a bailing pin or a tie-off point. So we'll try to use this, as confusing as it may seem, to get more acclimated with all these blocks and everything, so we know. Another problem is when I go to build this thing as a piece, that front view and side view doesn't really define whether that pulley is facing the back or the front or the side, so I have to refer to these drawings and the pictures to try to figure out exactly where those pulleys go. That's the dilemma I'm in now, because one pulley set at a time on this main assembly before I get to putting them all three pieces together as one unit. And hopefully we got this one right. We'll find out when we go to do the rigging. So fun. I'm gonna sit down and start verifying these positions here, and then I'll go to another one after I get those tied on. I'll probably drill some holes in this block so I can mount some of these pulleys to it. And we'll just work our way through each little spot at a time. Sewing with wire. Well, not really sewing, but I am sticking it through holes. And I'm gonna have to have two pair of pliers. Need three hands. Maybe I can use that to hold to that. Oops. Let's see if I can open it up. This one's different than the last one because they wanted me to put these eye loops on the bottom down here underneath the crow's nest for some ropes to tie off on. So they show a little brass wire being used for all of this. Let's see if I can get this in there and then pull it tight. Got a grip on that. Keep this from coming back through. Very carefully. Now, bend that over. Cut it off. So the one on this side, after I finished it, I took the fine tip Sharpie and I colored those leads going in between here with some black Sharpie. So that's the 4 dead eyes on the main mast crow's nest. Good grief. So that should go down to that line there. And we got more pulleys and blocks to tie onto this thing. And while you weren't watching, I completed this. Which is 2 pieces. See that seam in the middle there? 2 pieces of 2 millimeters by 5 millimeters wide, glued together like a sandwich, and then put in a vise and filed them out to accept these shivs in there, and then put a pin in there and super glue the pin. So that'll go on to the bottom of this. I'm gonna have to take this off now because I got to get it through that, and I already put some glue on it, so I'm backing up and punting here. I might have to put that in the vise, see if I can break it free without busting something. Lovely. Well, in the meantime, we got some other stuff done. I sort of reorganized my shed. We're having a little family get together this weekend, and I've been out of town yesterday and working in the yard the day before, and I spent a day in here cleaning up, reorganizing everything, reorganizing all my tools. So reorganized all the stuff that was over here, did a little bit of organizing over here, but I haven't had a chance to work on the ship a whole lot this week. We did get a little bit of the bones done on the main mast. I haven't got any of the yard arms started yet. So between the family get together and all the yahoo going on with this, got some badminton set up and yawn darts, and we're gonna have a fire pit around the corner and a whole bunch of good food to pig out on. We got a smoker pellet grill over yonder. We're gonna go to town with some meat. So not trying to make excuses, but sometimes you don't get all your content and you don't get done what you wanted to for the week on the ship build. But we'll get back on it next week after we clean everything up outside. I'm steadily doing something. If I'm not in here working on a ship, I'm always doing something, keeping myself active and busy. So it's just a matter of organizing all your time and keeping up with all your responsibilities. Now that I've reached 1,000 subscribers on this channel, I feel like this channel has become a responsibility also to all my viewers out there that watch my content every week. I apologize for not having more content this week, but life happens and you just keep on going. So thanks for watching.